on the roof. I'm getting ready to put, first year actually I've ever believed they've used blue lights. Maybe putting blue lights around the eave, and then putting icicle lights around the corners. So what I'm going to be doing to install these blue lights, I've got just a metal like spackle tool. Saving my fingers. I'm going to slide this in between the soffit and the shingle, pull it up just a little bit, and then pushing the butt end of the light fixture in, okay, and going so they're all just perfectly in line down. So this might be a better view here. Be sliding right under here, and then just lifting it up a little bit, just to get the butt end of it up. So I've got these lights here, which I've acquired. They were in a property that we recently took over. We've got 5 strands of those, and my box to control these are going to be right down here in the fence, bud. Right inside. Make sure the fence is shut. So again, we're going to be using our brain when it comes to which way we're going to run the cord and where we're going to go. Because I'm going to start with these I don't know what they call them, the gables. All right. I don't want the light to be shown, you know, around here, meaning up underneath here. So what I'll probably do is have a separate blue strand coming here, and this being completely separate. I'll start the female end over here. Actually, I'm going to start the male end on this side, so I can hide the access over here, because it's on the back side of the house of the display. So female end on this side of the corner, go up and over. Any extra I have, I'm going to roll up on this side. Probably the same thing in the middle. On the other side, maybe the opposite. I'll start the male end over on the other side, of the roof there. So that's the goal. It's hopefully it won't take that. When we measured this out, I probably would have put this plug on the other end, because it wound up to be perfect. And you can see that it's just pushed right up underneath the shingles, and now all of them are straight in line. Now keep in mind that all houses are different. I am not damaging or pulling up, removing any of the seal or tar. But when I'm just pulling it up, these shingles are a little loose. So I'm not pulling it up a whole lot. I'm not breaking any of the shingles. I'm not actually removing any of the adhesive or anything that keeps the shingles down. So if your house or your roof is new, you see actually all these, let's see here. See these are, you know, tarred down pretty tight here. I wouldn't be ripping these up, because I wouldn't want to wind up ripping the shingles or anything. But right here, these are pretty loose, so I'm able to get just the butt end of the light in, and now they all look nice, even and straight. And it's gonna look really, really nice, really sharp at night, which you'll see in some future videos when I get them turned on. So we'll just, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start another male in here, maybe a shorter one, and go here and down the house. And I'll just plug in an extension cord from here to here, and then run the extension cord down to the box, wherever that box may be, because I'm not sure exactly. So going to move off to the next gable, do the same thing there, and then the same thing over the garage. Alright, so we got the second gable, I guess, is done. That's the right word for it. Now, I'm not usually one that will do something like this. Okay, but I had this little section from here to here that needs to be done, and I happen to have just enough lights. All the way over to the end on this side, like I did on the other side of this roof. But this is the kind of the back side of the Christmas display, so no one will most likely even see this section. What I will be doing, and I suggest everybody, that was one of my pet peeves, or go out to look at Christmas lights, when people have to do this, they just leave it like that, and the lights are on, and it's really ugly, this little section from here to here. I'm going to get like a black trash bag or some black visqueen or maybe some tape or whatever, and make sure that these lights cannot be seen from there to here. So if you're going to do this, my suggestion is to make sure to somehow hide these in a certain way that can't be seen at night. And in the daytime, you're not going to be able to avoid that. The actual proper way to have done it would be to come to here and then go up underneath here and maybe tie it up in a bag so you can't see it. It's nice tucked away, and then run another cord, another separate strand from here to here, and then pull up the excess up underneath here as well. But since this was pretty much perfect length, I got to this point right about here, and then I pulled the other end to that corner and measured, and this is about how it would go. So I started over there and worked my way back, and then went as far as I could. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I've been pretty much looking out. I don't have any extra. It's just up and over and perfect on both sides. So now that all these 3 sections are done, we're just going around the eave over there and all this and over, and that'll be done. Now we put some icicle lights. What?
Do you want me to put the clips?
No. All right, even though it takes quite a long time, the end result is going to be well worth it. And it's hard to tell in this video, but we do have all of the blue lights tucked up underneath the shingles throughout the entire eave. All right, so that part's done. The next part, I'm going to be taking the icicle lights around the corners and actually tacking them up under here in the soffits around the corners. But right now we're getting ready to go up on the roof and get working on the checkerboard on the roof. Just want to make sure I got all my lights ready to go, and there's a couple I need to test before I get up there. All right, I'm going to be testing, getting some of these lights ready to get up on the roof, and before I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're working before I get up there. I have a review video, really horribly written, recorded review video about this Light Keeper Pro. And I'm going to just make a quick note on what this does. It's about $20 at the store, Walmart, Walgreens, anywhere you go, you can pretty much get them. It has a little compartment here. You can keep some extra bulbs and fuses in. It has the trigger, which we'll go over. It's got the toner. It's got a place for testing light bulbs and fuses, and it actually has a little pry bar to get the lights out of the socket if you need. And it's got some features here which we'll actually go over. We got another strand of the brown cords, and the second half is out. So what you're first going to do is you want to do a visual inspection to make sure that there's no broken bulbs or missing bulbs, because if that's the case, then most of the time that's where your problem lies. You want to be very careful when controlling or when holding a set of lights that are plugged in, period. Because even though they're lit, there could be a broken bulb, and you could get electrocuted if you touch those wires in that side of that broken bulb. So what we're going to do first is we're going to come up to the very first bulb that's out. I actually have voltage here. That's what that tone is telling you. You're going to pull the bulb out. Always inspect. If you're putting the bulb out, you might as well just go ahead and inspect to make sure that the little wires are in place. There's a little section here on your Light Tester Pro, and you can see that it's notched out up here for bulbs like this that have the little security clasp. You place this in here, make sure it's seated well, and then you go ahead and pull the trigger about 10 times or so. Now about half of the time that will fix your problem. You'll see the lights will pop on. Actually, they just did when I was looking away. And I'm not sure exactly what this does, but someone explained it to me as it's like clearing a clog in a drain. So by pulling this and clicking it about 10 times or so, half of the time that'll fix your problem. Now it might not fix it permanently. You might have to be changing these bulbs out from time to time. You'll see that right here. I've got a bulb that's burned out, and if I look at the top, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's actually broken. So this bulb here could cause some problems also if there's any wires. So I might go ahead and change that bulb out. I don't see any other broken bulbs. There's actually same thing here, another broken bulb at the very tip. And the lights just went out for a second, so there's, oh, look at this. I guarantee you that that's going to be the problem. And if I were to touch this, I would get electrocuted. So this is what I'm talking about. When you're handling these wires, you want to be extra careful about broken bulbs like this, because you can get electrocuted by touching this. All right, and also even if it's not plugged in, if you put your finger on one of these wires, it could stick you like a little needle. So be extra careful. You also have the plug part if we wanted to, or if you're checking lights that are strung somewhere and you can just plug this right into here. By doing this, even when they're not plugged in, it will send a bit of voltage down the line and hopefully clear out any problems. I haven't had too much luck with that, being able to fix it that way. You do have your toner here, where we can basically follow the line and tone it. When you lose tone, that's usually where your bulb is out. If I wanted to check, let's see if I can find out. I know I got them in here. If I wanted to change a fuse, which you'll know that in these little parts, the male plugs, there's a little door that'll open up and there's 2 fuses in there. And if the strand doesn't work at all, and let's just say this wasn't working at all, I plugged it in here and I actually tried to plug something in here, and this plug wasn't working, chances are your fuse is blown in this little thing. And that'll happen if you overload the strand. If you put more than 3 or 4 lights in end to end, it will blow this. But if you wanted to ever test the fuse, you can always usually look and see if there's a little wire in there, it's good. But you can place this right on that little sensor. If the light comes on, the fuse is good. Okay. And I also want to point out one more thing. This little section right here is a bulb tester. So if you have a bulb out, you're not sure if the bulb is good, if you plug it in there, you can see that the light bulb lights up. That'll indicate that the bulb is actually itself is good, whether it's broken or not. And then, like I kind of mentioned before, but if you have a strand of lights and you're having a hard time getting the bulb out, you can use this little pry bar to help pry the bulb out. And it has like 3 different ways you can do that. So it's a really very useful, helpful, handy tool to have. If you are going to be spending any time trying to fix your lights, this will save you, it'll cut your fix time in half. So go out, spend the $20, $25, however much it costs to get one of these, and use it. These are the batteries it takes, and I find that these batteries will last maybe a year, year and a half before they go bad. These batteries cost about $15 to replace, at least the last time I had to do it. So this is the best tool that I've gotten, and it's definitely a lifesaver, especially for me where I like to use my lights over and over again. All right, the checkerboard is drawn out. These are 5 by 5 squares. First channel is that little corner. Second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Actually, 13 would be over here, which we're not having. 14, 15, 16. And then we're mirrored. Same over here. 1, 2, 3. There'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No 9, or 9 would be here. 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. So, this is the first step. Now what I was going to do is build frames to put the wires in. We're going to do it a little bit different. I figured I'd save a little bit of money. I'm going to tack it in with some clips up at the top. Let's just use this for example. Okay, I'm going to go strand 1, going to come down. Okay, I'm going to tie into the next channel and tie it in here and go down to the next channel and to the next channel down. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, when I start to do it, that will. So I'm hopefully going to just tie everything together with zip strips and with the clamps, and everything will be literally come out when it's done and in the right place. Hopefully now they get this first, not this first 4, but the first 4 that are done. First section done. Basically, what I've got going here is one strand of lights going down, over, up like this. All right, and that's one section because that's one square, one channel. But to make it tight, I'm gonna put a clip up at the top, came down. Now this strand is now going over and up, but I tied it to another strand. This strand here is doing the same thing, up and over and over and over. So I'm working with 4 strands at the same time, but I come all the way down, tie into another strand, tie into another strand, tie into another strand. When I get down, I come up, tie into another strand, that same strand that was up here, and keep on going. This keeps it in place and in unison, but separates the channels. So all that will be one channel, that'll be another channel, channel. and it'll give me the effect that I'm looking for with the checkerboard. All right, we're losing some daylight, but we're halfway done. Things are going pretty smooth. We're using the shorter green stranded green corded lights. There you go. To do some of the non-full sections, and just trying to be smart about it. We're coming pretty close. You can see we're maybe 6 inches short here with the lights, but I'm not concerned about that. Over there we had to use a couple strands to fill it in completely, but we've got the other half of the roof to go. Hopefully, my plan is to get it done. It's almost 5:30 right now. The plan is to get it done tonight, right, Liam? Well, it is dark. It is 6 o'clock, and we are done. Might as well just show myself. I'm gonna fall off the roof. Anyway, can't really see much out here, but we just finished our last section. I have completed what I have set out to do, and it's still somewhat early. I do have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to Fort Lauderdale so I can work all week, be gone all week. But I might get the icicle lights up around the eaves. I'll be happy if I do that. But that is most of my big projects that I have to do. So I gotta get the icicles up in the eaves, and I gotta wrap the pillars. It's a big project, but it's another big thing to do. I gotta wire up all my boxes. I don't know. I gotta fix the lights. I'm sure when I get everything up and on, hooked up, I'm gonna have some lights out, so I'll have to test and fix those. But for the most part, I'm actually, even though I've been gone for work training, I'm actually on track. I'm on schedule, so that's good. Anyway, let's see if we do anything else. All right, let me actually start here. It's hard to see because it's dark, and I'm sorry, but what we're gonna do is put icicle lights, one set of icicle lights on each corner. So then like this corner, there's a corner over there, so there's 2 here. 3, 4, and then right there 5, 6. I actually need a 7th one. I miscounted. Over here in the dark, which is the corner of the house. So I'm gonna need 7 strands of icicle lights to go in the corners. I have 6 here. I've got a whole tub of them right there, so I'm gonna have my 7th one. Tested them. These are all working. The lights match each other. The lengths of the drops, meaning the icicle drops, are the same. So what I'm gonna do is here's one strand. If you wanted to do what I'm doing, this is basically what I'm doing. What I've done is I've taken the strand of lights. I found my last icicle, which is right here, and I put it to, let's call this my first icicle on the strand. Put them together, fold the strand in half basically, and find my halfway point, which is right here. This is my halfway point, halfway icicle. This icicle, I'm doing this so, again, I'm being smart when I'm hanging my lights. So I know exactly, I'm going to start right in the middle. I'm going to tuck this right in the corner there, and I'm going to go both ways. Down, here. Down this way, and then down this way, and they'll be equal on both sides. So in this case, I'm going to run the male end towards the center of the house on that side, and the female end over here, and then the male end I'll have to run an extension cord up underneath the soffit to plug in. So go ahead and put it up, show you what it looks like. Son of a nutcracker! I hate mixing old and new colored lights because you get 2 different colors. So needless to say, I'm going to be tearing all these down and buying new blue lights to match because the other ones are brand new. But for the most part, you get the good effect of what I'm doing with the icicle lights. I'm not going to finish it. I'm tired and eat dinner and clean up this mess before I can go. So now the blue and the icicles will be on one channel. And then I'm going to have something on the peak, which I'm not sure exactly what color that's going to be. But that's all I'm getting done for today. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. We've got plenty more to come.